Hey, what's up, everyone? My name is Trent. This is Rams Talk. Welcome to another edition. Rams win. This is Victory Friday. Rams beat the Seahawks 26-17. Now the all-time record between Rams and Seahawks is Seahawks have the edge. 25 wins to the Rams 24 wins. If the Rams win again this season against the Seahawks, they have an all-time tied record. So let's get into it. Now this was a game. This was a great game. This is the kind of game we all wanted to see. After the Rams really just had an embarrassing performance against the Arizona Cardinals in Week 4, how would they respond on a short week going up to a contentious atmosphere, Lumen Field in Seattle, short week against a division rival? How would they do? And what I said before was, however they play, however this game turns out, that will, if they win, it will lessen the sting of the Arizona game. And boy, did it. I mean, are we still feeling down in the dumps as before? No, we're not. And I'm talking to you Rams fans out there. If you haven't subscribed, please do. If you come across this video and like, who is this guy? What's going on? This is Rams Talk. It's what we do here. We talk about Rams game. Sorry I didn't come in and give you guys a pre-game video. Quite a busy week on a short week. So anyways, I just watched it, and man, oh man, McVay improves to 7-3 all-time versus Pete Carroll. And Pete Carroll is a Hall of Fame coach. What does that make Sean McVay? Yeah, Sean McVay has to win a Super Bowl and to really be up there in the iconic range. But man, however did they respond within a division against a rival? I mean, so they were 3-1. They could have been 3-2. Seattle could have been 3-2 had they won this game. And that really muddies up the NFC West. But now they are 4-1. If Arizona beats San Francisco, they'll be 5-0, and San Francisco and Seattle will be 2-3. Now, my personal take on this is anytime that the Seahawks lose and the Niners lose, I'm fine with that. Okay? I'd rather have the Cardinals and the Rams vying for the NFC West at the end instead of having all teams kind of within a game and a half of each other. So as the more Seattle can be buried up front at the beginning of the season, the better. Same with San Francisco. Just put them away. So, and also I hope Jamal Adams is enjoying Cabo right now. You know, they have an extended break between the next game. So Jamal Adams, I hope you're enjoying Cabo. Now, I really dislike Jamal Adams. No secrets here. And, there was some talk before this game of how Russell Wilson and the Seahawks are like, yeah, how they made fun of us about Cabo last time. Well, we didn't forget. And it's kind of like, wait, you were the guys talking trash. The Rams didn't forget it and beat you and said, yeah, we didn't forget about you, talking trash. And then the Seahawks are like, wait, you didn't forget about us talking trash, and now we're upset about that. Well, Jamal Adams, by the way, you're terrible in coverage. Terrible in coverage. Look at the two players these teams gave up 2 first-round picks on. A star cornerback and a hybrid safety linebacker. So anyways, injuries. Now, this could be a very tough break for the Rams if D. Will or Leonard Floyd or Nick Scott, who came up a little gimpy after he caught that interception. He was kind of running around celebrating with everyone, and then he came to the sideline kind of limping. I don't know if anyone noticed that, but I was kind of like, oh no, not a celebration injury. That's not what we need. But and Stafford with the finger. Now, good news is, as you all know, there was an extended break time. As Aaron Donald said when he got the game ball, one of the game balls, he said, take this time and get your bodies right. Get your bodies straight, or get your bodies healed, or whatever. So, yeah, Rams, go get your bodies healed. But D. Will, to me, that's the biggest blow. If he's out a significant amount of time, that's really going to hurt, because that was the position where the Rams were really hurting the most on defense already, was the third cornerback position. So if he's out, then it rotates everyone up. David Long, Robert Rochelle now are starting. So I'm hopeful that D. Will can get back out there and play, but they do have the soft spot in their schedule with the Giants, the Lions, and the Texans approaching. So if there were ever games to, miss, maybe he goes on short-term IR. I don't even know. I don't want to speculate on that. But, these are the times where the rookies and David Long can really grow. Terrell Burgess, maybe get him some more reps in there. So really waiting on pins and needles to see what happens in that situation. Leonard Floyd can't afford for him to go down. If he goes down, then who do we have at the edge, right? So we're already rotating Terrell Lewis and Obo. So this is Chris Garrett time. this is going to be a tough spot. So crossing fingers on that one now. A lot of people talking about the defense recently. That a lot of people during this game saying the defense was not great, and all these things. And it's like, come on, you hold a team to 17 points. I don't know what to say. I mean, like, do you think the Rams defense will never give up a completion ever in a game, or a positive rushing yard? Like, I mean, come on. It's so weird to me sometimes, the knocks on this defense. Now, I do agree that there are some weaknesses on this defense. It's not the same as last year. Yet at the same time last year, the Rams played Dallas, had a pretty good offense, and that's when Dak was still there, and they played Buffalo, who had a really good offense. But through 5 games, the other teams they played were Philly, Giants, and Washington football team. And that Washington football team in that game was just like, their offense was terrible. The Giants' offense was terrible, right? Remember the Rams barely beat the Giants at home when we were relieved? No one thought about, oh my gosh, this, that, the sky is falling, right? No one looks back to that game and still to this day and is upset about the performance of the Rams offense or defense, right? So, the Rams played Tampa Bay, Seattle, Arizona, Indianapolis, Chicago. Better teams this year. The Rams have played better teams this year than they played through 5 games last year, and they did really well on defense in this game. And also, we want to talk about Raheem Morris and how his scheme is terrible and this and that. But I mean, he's coaching the players he has. Like, do you think this would be there would have been a different outcome in these games if Troy Hill was on the team and John Johnson was on the team and Michael Brockers and Morgan Fox? Do you think the defense would be better? I do. Okay. And because David Long has not been great. Rochelle got burned in this game, right? So let's just call it what it is. Rochelle got really burned in this game, and I like him. I think he's better on the outside than David Long, but like that. Who can Raheem Morris put out at cornerback? Okay, so I mean, Troy Hill wasn't like an all-pro amazing player. He was a really good player for the Rams, but I mean, he was very sturdy, and he helped the depth. And last year, the Rams were lucky in terms of injuries with the 3 cornerbacks. Troy Hill, Darius Williams, and Jalen Ramsey were pretty much studs the whole year, healthy the whole year. Seattle was 4 for 10 on third downs, and coming in this game, I thought the third down conversions were going to be the most critical part of this whole game. The one thing to watch for me were the third down conversions, because against Arizona, the Cardinals converted on 8 of 13 third downs. I mean, and that's like, that's what we're thinking about. Like, look at the defense can't get off the field. Third and 14, they get 16 yards. Third and forever, they get more than just enough to get a fresh set of downs. So how could the Rams stop Seattle on third down? They held them 4 for 10 on third down. So that was critical. You have to the defense has to get off the field, and that gets you to a point where you're not even bending to break. Like, you're really saying solid. They gave up 92 rushing yards. I think 23 or 33 were to Geno Atkins. So only 47 yards to Alec Collins. So the Rams run defense played really well. And their defensive line was awesome. And shout out to AD. I meant to say this at the top of the show, but AD with setting a Rams franchise career sack record, taking over Leonard Little on that. So tip of the cap to AD. He's on pace for between 10 and 11 sacks this year. And, I mean, sky's the limit. So, I mean, we're witnessing a generational talent, an all-time franchise Rams team legend, Aaron Donald. He was in the backfield all the time. The defensive line really stepped up in this game. Sebastian Joseph Day led the team in tackles. AD was in the mix all the time. Greg Gaines was stout in run defense. They just were really the whole D-line. Then you go with the linebackers. Leonard Floyd and Terrell Lewis were really coming on. Obo got his hand on a ball there when Geno or Russell was throwing it. And, that's just... The Rams front really came to play in this game. And, it also helps that Chris Carson isn't healthy, but, that's just what we do against the Seahawks. We really get after the quarterback. And, Troy Reeder is our leader in terms of interceptions, which is pretty crazy to think. Jalen Ramsey was all over the place. He played 60 snaps and they targeted him 8 times, 5 receptions, 61 yards, and a touchdown. I want to say four targets or 4 receptions for 44 yards and a touchdown for DK when he was lined up on DK. And out of the 60 snaps, 23 were in the, I think I wrote this down wrong, but it was a pretty good mix of the slot. He played on the outside the most, and then he played in the slot, and then he played in the nickel. So he was kind of was almost used equally all over the place, and that's why he has so many targets. It wasn't like they were targeting him, but they were targeting where he was, I guess you could say, if that makes better sense. But he gave up. Metcalf did get the better of him on one of those touchdowns, and I mean, you got to tip your cap, Metcalf. You can't keep him down forever, even with the best corner in football. But I mean, Ramsey did play well. He got his hand in there, broke up some other passes. So the D-line, 2 sacks, 10 pressures. And, when you think about this defense and what we've done to opposing players, we broke Carson Wentz, we broke Gronkowski, and we broke Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson hadn't thrown an interception yet this year, and boom, threw one that was tipped Ramsey to Reader. So, and it's unfortunate that Russell Wilson went out. I mean, hey, I'd rather play against Geno Smith, but you want best on best. I never want to see anyone get injured. And, that's all. When you have someone like Russell Wilson, he can always kind of create some of that last, end of the game magic, and that we didn't get that. And maybe, Geno Smith, what a solid backup Geno Smith is. And I mean, I know it's Geno Smith, and some people were getting upset about, the Rams gave up a touchdown to Geno Smith. It's inexcusable. I'm like, come on, really? So Geno Smith just, I know he's Geno Smith, but, it's not like he was the guy, the backup for Arizona last year in that final game. So, defense played well. You give up 17 points. I don't care what happens. It wasn't this total bend but not break situation. They were getting off the field a lot of punts. Speaking of punts, that junkie for the Seahawks, Dixon, really, to me, I don't mind if the refs get the call wrong. But like when when you're checking it over and you go to New York and you come back and you still get it wrong, there was no way he was behind or on the line. There was no way. That's just ridiculous. That was just a mess up by the officiating crew, a full-blown mess up, and he knew it. Junkie Dixon, and also Myers, their kicker. This was a weird special teams game. So the kicker Myers, I just remember last year in the 3 games we watched, I was like, man, that guy just never misses. That dude is automatic. And he missed. First time in forever that he missed. So, just when you think it's terrible for the Rams, look at the Seahawks. Imagine being a Seahawk fan. Home game, your quarterback goes out with an injury, your kicker who's made every kick misses a field goal. Just tough game for them. But Matt Gay misses an extra point. Kickoff out of bounds. It's like, what the heck happened to Matt Gay? But then 47-yarder in a hostile environment to ice the game. That's all that matters. I can sit here and say, Matt Gay, what the heck, man? Hey, we all have a bad game. He's human. He's not going to be as good as he was last year, but he just needs to be consistently good enough. And he hit a 47-yarder when it mattered. So, tip the cap, Matt Gay. Tutu Atwell, opening kickoff. What in the world was that? Tutu's got a lot of work to do in just not falling down. Also hitting the hole. He opted to go outside when there was a big hole on the inside on one of the punts. It's just, he's got some work to do. They put Cooper Kupp back out there for some fair catches. So, Tutu's still a WIP, a work in progress. So, anyways, the special teams was kind of weird. I'll just say Johnny Hecker had a lot of punting going on. Punt, interception, punt, field goal, TD, punt, field goal. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 punts for Johnny Hecker. This is most action he got in a long time. And really, offensively, this was a tale of 2 halves. So like I said, the first half was punt, interception, punt, field goal. So 3 punts, an interception, and a field goal. That's pretty miserable. That interception should at least have been 3 points. And, I'm just going to address that right off the bat. But that interception he threw in the end zone was exactly the same interception Jared Goff threw against Seattle in Seattle last year. Rolling out to their right, getting up on the sideline, throwing the ball to no one in a Rams uniform. No one. Not even close. But throwing it to Quandre Diggs. Quandre Diggs caught both of those stupid, weird throws from a quarterback rolling to their right, almost going out of bounds. It was like so identical. And I'm going to give him crap. Gave Jared Goff crap for that. Now, the problem is like Jared Goff did that and just like was like done for the rest of the game. Jared Goff throws that interception. You're just like, oh God, here we go. This game's over. That was the only chance we had, you know. Matthew Stafford throws that interception. You're like, oh, we'll come back. We'll get it. So he throws the interception, come back, punt, then field goal. And then it was second half, touchdown, punt, touchdown, punt, field goal. So 6 possessions, 3 touchdowns, 1 field goal. So he did come back. And like I said, it was a tale of two halves. That first half was weird. First drive of the game, third down conversion, overthrow. Second drive of the game, third down conversion, overthrow. This is before he hurt his finger. So he really, you know, the accuracy, the touch, I don't know if it's just they're still forming a connection. He's still feeling out the offense. Maybe it's jitters. You know, this is a primetime game, really. I mean, it's a Thursday night, but it's a primetime game against a division rival, going head-to-head against a Hall of Fame quarterback, right? How many times? I mean, pretty much it was only against Aaron Rodgers that he would do that, you know, in the NFC North. And 0 for 4 against Aaron Rodgers. But so far, Brady in a primetime game pretty much, Russell Wilson in a primetime game pretty much, and beat them both. So I don't know if it's these jitters, and once he clicks in, and it's great. So I think that, you know, he gutted it out, hurt the finger, gutted it out. Robert Woods, man, oh man, and we knew he was going to get involved. But I mean, 12 for 150, and it just goes to show the what we knew the Rams had. You have any day, Robert Woods can be the guy, 150. Another day, Cooper Kupp 163, you know? So it's like you pick your poison. We got 2 studs, and I'm really happy that Robert Woods got involved. And you could tell that he was really, Stafford, what he was doing with Woods, was really manipulating the underneath coverage and some of those linebackers. And, you know, if you look at it, you see some of those linebackers just moving the wrong way in the opposite direction as where Woods is running behind them. And it's just opening a window. I mean, how many passes did Woods catch like wide open, 20 yards down the field, 15, 20 yards down the field over the middle? Seemed like that was just happening play after play after play. And there were two or three passes where if Matthew Stafford puts the ball on the money, one to Cooper Kupp where he had to kind of come back and dive for it. But if he hits Cooper Kupp in stride, touchdown. I even think if he threw to Deshaun Jackson in stride, like if he was just going deep and overthrew it, I think that's a touchdown too, because Jamal Adams went behind the play, Jackson came in and caught it. And then, you know, maybe it's just those old veteran legs, but, you know, he didn't seem to be really trucking, or like he didn't put on the jets. Like he caught the ball, he started breaking around the left, and then he's just like, you know, just going to call this, it's going to go out of bounds here. So I kind of was like, D-Jax, like if those were 2-2 legs, man, he would have zipped around and scored a touchdown there. But anyways, good play from him. He manipulated the defense on that one too in terms of kind of selling it and coming underneath and catching the ball. But, you know, I feel like this is something that I'm hopeful that Matthew Stafford will iron out and really, you know, sail it. But I mean, he's going for it all the time. He's going for it. This was like Jared Goff did this in like 2017, 2018. Jared Goff was throwing deep. Even 2019, Goff was slinging it down the field. It was just 2020 when Goff just couldn't do it anymore. And Stafford is really going for it. He had I think it was averaging 9.4 yards per pass. So, you know, there weren't any dinks and dunks in this one. And that was great. They were 2 for 10 on third downs, which was pretty terrible. Just think if they were 4 of 10 on third downs, how many more points or how many fewer punts or field goals, you know, they would have had. So, you know, I feel like this was a game that with the Rams did not play their best game at all, not even close. And they still went to Seattle and won. So anytime, I mean, you would just have to be happy that anytime a team doesn't play their best on the road against a divisional rival and wins, you take it. You take it, right? And so, these are things that I really love that, a lot of games, especially divisional rivals, they're going to be messy. But I mean, what can you say? And the offensive line, my goodness. We thought that might be a liability, especially at the center position, but not anywhere near that. They've been keeping Stafford clean. They kept him clean in this game. He was sacked one time. They're opening running lanes up for Hendo and Michelle. They allow, you put Higbee in there or whatever, but they go empty backfield and they feel confident. And I mean, I guess that goes also just, pointing out that the Seahawks defensive line isn't amazing, but the Rams offensive line is held up in every game pretty much. And I can't say enough about them. I can't wait to check their PFF grades. Usually, I mean, all 5 of those guys are like top 20 this year at their position. So, I mean, as the Rams offensive line goes, and everyone here watching this knows, as the Rams offensive line goes, so go the Rams. And, if they can stay healthy and they can stay consistent throughout the whole year, then the Rams have really good. I really like their chances. Matthew Stafford will fix it. He'll figure out the overthrows and things like that. But the offensive line, tip of the cap. And I mean, speaking of Hendo and Michelle, I mean, Hendo looks great. 2 different styles of runners. Hendo, really a lot of nice little jukes in there. He ran extremely well. 17 rushes for 82 yards, a 4.8 yard per carry average. That's amazing. Michelle, 11 for 37 for 3.4 yards per carry. And that's basically 28 carries between the 2 backs. And that split, I think Sean McVay intimated maybe to Jordan Rodriguez that kind of split or that usage approximately is kind of how he wants to go moving forward, and I'm fine with that. I mean, the 2 of them totaled 119 total yards with 4.1 yard per carry, and that's great. I'll take that. I think that Hendo was really Hendo was just running at will. Everything he was doing was great. They were opening look at the Sony Michel touchdown. He just walked right in. That's the offensive line just doing a job there. And then even when Hendo scored, he made a nice cut and he got tackled at the end, but that was a nice running lane that the offensive line opened up for him. And, their pass protection was excellent. Both he and Michelle were diagnosing the rushers coming in, and they helped keep Stafford clean, and that's huge. I mean, Todd Gurley and Malcolm Brown were great at that. Cam Akers was figuring that out, and Hendo and Sony Michel are really good at pass pro. And so, those are the kind of the unsung little nuances of the game. You look at the box score and you see what you got there, but the pass protection is really great. So I mean, the offensive line, we're not talking, we don't talk about them because they're just doing their job, right? But if they start melting down, then we're complaining about it. But the offensive line, the running game, really, really solid. Very happy with that. So that pretty much wraps it up. So hoping the injuries are not too significant. The Rams have about 12 days or so to get healthy, to get back on track. Then they play the Giants, then they play the Lions, then they play the Texans, and then the Titans, and then the Niners. So I don't want to look past any team. Let's just spend this time. Let's get healthy. Let's hope for speedy recoveries, and then also let's just take it to New York. And do we need who are their second and third receivers that we really have to watch out for? So anyways, not going to look ahead too much, just going to enjoy this. This is great. Rams are on track, 4-1 on the season. Can't ask for any more than that. But anyways, I want to thank you all for watching. Let me know how you feel about this game and how the Rams are looking so far on both sides of the ball. And look out for a live stream between now and the Giants game, because we have some time to kill, and I'd love to just kind of judge where everyone's at. So thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I'm feeling good, and as always, go Rams.